Warning, the following podcast is intended for immature dads only. Listener discretion is advised. This is Dad's Game Review, the most casual hardcore gamers around. Reviews and news from every platform. We waste our time so you don't have to.
What's up, kids? Welcome to another episode of Dad's Game Review. I am Paul Spilacci, joined as always by Josh. How you feeling, buddy?
Oh God, this week, I swear to God, we started off last podcast. We started off the last podcast, and I was like, Paul and I have both been so sick. We're feeling better now. Yeah. I got the flu last Thursday, like hit hard with it, and the Thursday, Friday, Saturday was hell. Sunday, Monday, I'm feeling better. Tuesday, Wednesday comes back with a vengeance. And yeah, it turned out I had RSV. So Tuesday, Wednesday, feeling shitty again, went home early from work, and then Paul messages me.
Oh, yeah, it was brutal. I mean, I don't think I've ever had food poisoning before, because it was coming out all the holes. It was just
More
disgusting.
details.
It was just, I don't know what I ate. I don't know. You know what it was? So I'm getting used to California cold cuts.
Yeah, he messages
In New
me.
York,
He's just dying. He is dying.
In New York, cold cuts last at least a week. In California, cold cuts last like 3 days. So I'm like making myself a sandwich on Saturday. My wife is like, I don't think you should be eating that salami. It's kind of old.
Slimy
And I'm like,
salami. Little
I'm
green.
just like, pish posh. Let me tell you something, woman. Salami is pretty good. You can last forever. You know, women, what do they know? And so, like,
and how'd that work out for you? How'd that work out?
Chumped this down on a bagel. And then, like, towards the night, we had like some friends over, and I'm like, I don't feel so good. I'm gonna go to bed. And they're like, all right, we'll see you later. Blah 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 blah. You know, I left my wife alone to deal with them, and I just went to bed. And then I woke up in the middle of the night with like these excruciating stomach pangs, just like nothing I had, like, moving hurt. Moving.
Like you're in labor pains, like you were pregnant and going into labor type of thing. Like,
yes, yes, I was so bloated, and I was like, all right, maybe I drank too much wine. You know, I was like, whatever, maybe I'm just still drunk or whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever. I just kept pushing it off. But then Sunday rolls around, and I'm just like, this is horrid. Like I'm pooping every time I sit up. I'm pooping. Like I was afraid to even move.
You sound like one of my residents at the convalescent home.
Every time I sit up, I'm pooping. Every time I move to a different position, I'm throwing up. And I'm just like, this is horrible. Like, what's going on? And I was laid out from Sunday all the way to Tuesday. I was just, and then Tuesday is when I finally went to the doctor, because I needed a doctor's note, you know, because they don't let you be off for 3 days in a row without.
Right.
And so I called the doctor, and he's like, oh, yeah, he's like, he probably got food poisoning.
Hey, thanks for the diagnosis. Now send me a bill for how much.
Yeah.
I've only had food poisoning once, and yeah,
okay.
it's a wreck. It just tears you up inside out, and you get completely dehydrated. Everything makes you nauseous and sick, and it's just miserable. So our game assignment for the week, because we just did a podcast last week, and then we were trying to squeeze in another one this week because we were way behind on weeks. But
Right.
yeah, we didn't have as much time to being sick to get through. What game are we playing?
High on Life.
High on Life. This game looked funny, and I wanted to play this for a while. He picked this next one for us.
High on Life is a comedic first-person shooter game with action, adventure, and Metroidvania elements. It takes place in science fiction world, which features talking guns. It was created by Justin Roiland and developed and published by Squanch Games.
So he was the creator. He created this whole universe. Then he created all these characters, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
I mean, even creating the Squanch part of the Squanch Games, because Squanch is a character in Rick and Morty.
Oh, is it? See, I know that I watched a few Rick and Morty shows. I know it's popular as hell, and it is my type of humor. It's just nothing. I kind of quit watching animation. I got burnt out on animation in the 2000s and stuff with Adult Swim, and I don't know. I got tired of watching animated stuff, but I do know the style of humor.
Forever. Yeah, I get
Maybe I
that.
just finally grew up. I don't know, but
I,
I don't know. I just animation doesn't entertain me anymore for some reason. But I love the horrible, deprecating, weird humor, and that's how this game starts off. Like from the second you start up, you're like playing a Duke Nukem type 3D boomer shooter type thing, getting
right.
into the game, and
That's
what
the only time that you hear Rick's voice.
and
Um,
you're trying to kill your ex-wives or something on it. It's like
yeah,
it's total
he's
total
like,
Duke Nukem.
he's like, let me tell you something. Just keep going, and double jump. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. And then he just goes on to these
With
like
that
full
constant
long
like
things.
rambling like nature of the way he presents
Yeah,
his
and he's
like
like, let's
sentences and
pretend it's
stuff.
your ex-wife. Let's pretend it's your ex-wife's lawyer. You know, and he just keeps calling and calling. You know, and it's
I
just
love the way that's set up, and then all of a sudden he gets interrupted by his sister, right? And his sister is
right.
sitting there chopping lines of coke on a mirror, and like that's how it throws you into the game. And so it goes to your select screen where you're going to pick what you look like by looking into mirrors of the mirror with lines of coke on it, and pick your like facial features or whatever.
Right,
And
right,
I'm like, so
yeah,
here we go. Let's just like jump into the game and like get all weird with it.
yeah.
Doing drugs from the first opening screen and Duke
I think
Nukem
it
style
starts with
gameplay.
like I think it starts with your sister like knocking, like you hear
Right,
knocking
interrupting him
as
when
you're
he's
playing
gaming
the
or
game.
whatever. Yeah.
And you finally turn around and it's like it's her, and she's just like, "Hey, dweeb, our parents left for the weekend or something like that to that effect." Blah 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 blah. But
Right.
they left me in charge. Typical,
And she's like, "Let's
like
party!" She starts railing, railing
yeah,
coke.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so you know from the
basically,
beginning it's going to start off like in your face, like offensive, because that's the kind of it's crude
right.
humor. It's crude, like
If
in your
you're
face
not,
type of humor.
so if you've never watched Rick and Morty before, this is a excellent introduction into Rick and Morty and how it works and how that what the humor's like. You could play this game and be like, decide whether or not you're going to like Rick and Morty, and it's hilarious. I mean, it's funny as hell to me, at least. A lot of the humor, a lot of the references. Like I loved how you go and you pick up the gun, and the gun talks to you, with its face, and it just kind of like it has explanations for everything, right? So you go along, this spaceship lands in your town, in your cul-de-sac, and there's this spaceship, and these people come along and they start killing other people, and including one of the people that landed in the spaceship, and that person leaves behind a gun that you then pick up, and the gun starts talking to you.
And they all have,
And
yeah, and that's it. That's the Morty character voice that comes through as your
right,
first gun. I wrote down
it's
the names.
exactly Morty. It's like he didn't
It
even
is
try.
Morty. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
where are the guns? So Kenny's the name of the gun, the first gun you get,
Oh,
and
okay.
they all have their own personalities because it's all very character driven. So Kenny's kind of like the nice, I want to make everybody happy guy. Oh gosh, Rick, type of
Right.
personality or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Right.
And Kenny's just your basic pistol that you can just auto fire, a couple bullets at a time. Basic pistol, but it also has all these guns have their secondary. And Kenny's secondary is globules. He launches globules, and of course they play on that, like Kenny's having an orgasm every time he's gonna shoot
It's
out
like
his
you
globules.
can't do it too many times in a row. You can't
You
really
gotta let me
fire too many
rest.
times. It's almost like you gotta wait. You gotta wait until and then you can't look at me. You can't
You
look at me
can't look
while
at
I
me when
do
I
it.
gotta
Right?
do it. Yeah, you got. So they really run with the crass humor, and that's what I love about it most. Is that it's just you never know what the hell they're gonna say, and there's so many times where like my jaw just went like what, like really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um,
what other guns did you get? Let's talk about the guns for a minute here.
so I got up to the gun where you got the globs, and then what else was it? I got the like the thrust thing that when you jump you could thrust forward. I got the expanded gun so it lasts longer and it doesn't overheat. I got the one with the globs. There's like unlimited globs.
Well, you're just talking about bonuses then. So did you get the shotgun? Because there's Gus. He only got
No,
to the second. Yeah, he only beat the
yeah,
first boss
because
and got to the second area because he was sick. Um,
I'm sorry, I was throwing up and pooping.
yeah, he was shitting himself. There's excuses for it. So he's
So
only
I didn't get too far.
there's seven bosses on this. It's basically set up as a bounty hunt. So aliens invade. You want to get the aliens out. The G3 is the name of the alien mafia that has come in, and you're trying to get the G3 off of Earth and get your life back. You meet a bounty hunter that's retired that has no legs. He's like a vet, a wounded warrior type of thing that took on the aliens in the past and used to collect bounties and all that kind of stuff. And he comes in and moves into your house and says he's going to teach you how to be a bounty hunter so you can get your Earth back. And that's the premise of the game. And that's where it goes from there. So you go from bounty hunt to bounty hunt, just 7 of them, I believe, 7 or 8.
Right.
And you go in, you beat a bunch of guys, you face a boss. You go in, you beat a bunch of guys, you face a boss, and that's kind of like that's the cycle for it. So he was on the second one.
Yeah, I got up to the second boss, which I'm not gonna lie, I had to look up a couple of spots as to like what to do. It was a little confusing when you got to a certain spot where you had to use your glob gun to like push down a drawbridge or something like that.
Yeah, there's puzzle solving and problem solving and all that kind of stuff. That what was I gonna say? Oh, let me go back to the guns though. So the guns you get, so we got Kenny, you got the globules and stuff that actually transform, so you can knock down bridges and things down to jump on. Then you get a beast called Gus, and Gus is your shotgun style. And Gus is voiced. I don't have the actor, and he's hilarious. He's a black comedian, and he is so damn funny. And I can't think of who he is right now. I meant to look it up before I got on, but he's like the laid back chill dude, but he's the boomer shooter gun. You just go in and wreck shops with the shotgun. Plus he shoots saw blades out of the front of him that ricochet off stuff. So his alternate is saw blades that shoot everywhere. You get Sweezy, which is a punk kind of chick type thing. She has a punk attitude, kind of screw everything, screw you guys, screw this, and she's a machine gun. But her bonus thing is that she can launch a orb that slows everything down in it. So the cool thing about her, you can launch that orb that slows down a bunch of enemies, grab your shotgun, run in there, blow them all away. Combo stuff together.
Ah, okay.
After
get
that,
Knifey. Knifey was fun.
Knifey. Knifey's hilarious. Tell him about Knifey.
Yeah, Knifey is the knife that you get right before the first boss. And he's the one that's like, oh man, he's got like a lot of, he's got like a lot of lip on him, but he's okay. You can get him and we can put him under control, like that type of thing. And it's all he does is talk through the whole thing about how he wants to kill. Who's he want to kill? Does he want to kill
everybody? He's a homicidal maniac.
Yeah, he
just wants to slash and hack and cut throats, and like he's a total homicidal maniac that is very pro murder, and he just gets so amped when you take him out to like kill things that it's
hilarious. In fact, I actually was looking up merch of High on Life. They sell the gun and they sell the knife in physical form. I was like, I need to have these, but they were like $6.99. And I was like, nah, I'm good.
I was hoping. So when I downloaded it from PS, this is on PS Plus. It's brand new to PS Plus in the last month or so.
Yeah. Because it was on Xbox forever.
And I saw there was, it was originally just an Xbox. This is one of the acquisitions we're getting from the timed exclusives that Xbox had. But it said that there's a High on Knife DLC, and I was going to play it thinking it was included with the PS Plus, but now they wanted $15 for it. But I'm curious why the DLC is specifically called High on Knife, and it's got a picture of Mr. Knife. So maybe he's got his own special. He's a maniac.
Play on words. Play on words. Actually, I looked it up, and the voice of Gus the Shotgun is JB Smoove.
Thank you, JB Smoove from Curb Your Enthusiasm, which I freaking love that show more than anything. All right. Yeah, JB Smoove, the comedian, and he's hilarious as Gus. And Gus is honestly the best gun in the game. You're going to be using Gus mostly, just blowing the guys away with the shotgun. And
even the retarded gun.
We don't use that word, but yes, there's
whatever.
And they use it in.
Nobody's listening to us.
There's two more guns. There's the creature, which the creature births babies that feed on the enemies. The creature is awesome. So the creature, he tells you straight up, he's like, I'm the result of every single experiment going wrong. And creature, I think I sent you a picture of creature. Creature has a butthole with titties. And I'm not exaggerating. It actually is a face with a butthole underneath it and titties. I
thought that was the boss.
And it no, that's your gun. And then it births little babies off its back that you launch out of these orifices that they come glooping out of. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment when you want to see childbirth like that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Anybody who's on the fence about childbirth, watch this part.
No, it's a really cool gun though, because you get different, but like he can start leeching health for you off the enemies and stuff, or you get bonuses to your special power ups if the little creature is there. And then he's talking about the slow gun who only says one thing.
Slow gun.
Let's do it. Let's do it. That's the last gun. Sylvester Stallone, the let's do it gun. Let's do it. He's been so dramatically damaged beyond repair that he's got no mental capacity left, but he
Right.
destroys the fuck out of everything. He will wreck shop on the last level of this game by just destroying. He's the only way to beat the whole thing at the end. You just wreck everything. And all he does is say, let's do it. Like, get in there and blow everything away. Let's do it. It's so dumb. Like, the personalities on these guns are what makes the game, and it's hilarious, but it's also really stupid.
It sounds gloriously stupid, to be honest with you. It does. In case you were wondering about the other voices, Justin Roiland is the obviously the voice of the gun. Betsy Sidaro is the voice of Sweezy, who's similar to Halo's Needler, and she appears in multiple podcasts and sitcoms. Michael Cusack is the voice of Knifey. Michael Middleditch. Michael Middleditch plays Ranchi. Jennifer Hale plays the additional voices, it says, and Tara Strong. Mary Mack plays Jor.
I don't know any of those people. You're just naming names now.
I don't even know who those people are.
But JB Smoove was the big one. As soon as I heard his voice, I knew who he was, and he brought his type of humor and comedy to it.
I've heard Thomas Middleditch, but I don't know who Ranchi is.
But the voice acting in it is top notch. There's not.
Oh yeah.
Every single thing is voiced. Every character that you interact with in the universe, and you're gonna go around and meet a bunch of little like neighborhood aliens and stuff like that. And you're gonna go on all these little side missions to the mines and stuff, and do side jobs for all these different guys. They're all voiced and they all have their own unique character. It doesn't matter where you're going. It doesn't matter if it's two buttons that are blocking an entrance that happen to be voiced and have an argument in front of you trying to get through the door. That's like in the beginning, you're trying to get to the mines and these two like buttons are trying to outdo one another and like having.
They're like, oh, so you picked him. You picked him. That's how it's gonna go. You picked him.
Yeah,
he's like he's not even. He doesn't even look. He looks somewhat like me, except he's red.
And they're the most like menial, just pointless. It's the Rick and Morty style of conversations where they just go and go and go and go and go, and you're like, there's no point to this, and you're just rambling on. The worst, and I don't think you experienced it, but he's in the second level. There is this brain that flies, that decides he wants to hang out with you, and he doesn't go away for an entire level pretty much, and he doesn't stop talking the entire time. Does not stop talking. I bet if they showed his script, it would be like 2,000 pages of just non-stop talking. He's there to annoy you, and as somebody who gets easily annoyed, I wanted to murder this thing so bad.
Worse than the second boss, who just like appears when you're going to his office. And
this isn't a boss. No, this is a character that just decides to hang out with you while you're going through a level. He just decides to come in and annoy you, and he doesn't shut up. So if you're easily triggered by sensory things, this guy is like an overwhelming little piece of shit that just drives you out.
I found that the second leading up to the second boss, I found that was hilarious. I don't know. I mean, the whole game is hilarious in general, but I just found that the second boss was hilarious because it was like it gave off a vibe of like, my dad owns the company type vibe. And this guy was just like, he every day was like, yeah, he's like, you guys aren't doing that paperwork. Like
they all had their, and I pulled up here the bosses ranked, the best bosses all ranked. There is 8 of them or 7 of them. And they're all very unique. There's later on in the game, there's a guy named Nipulon. Can you guess why he's named Nipulon? He has got some super big pepperoni nipples. And he puts you into like an LSD type hallucination battle, and it's a trip, and he pissed me off the worst. He was the one I messaged you, and I was like, I think I'm gonna be stuck on a boss. Because you have to basically fight a bunch of clones of him, and you can only identify him by a little color trademark of orange. And when there's 20 on screen and we've got ADHD and I've got to pick out the right one and it's moving fast, like I kept dying over and over and over. He pissed me off. The other bosses, they were manageable, but
the second boss in particular, I loved how when you were trying to find the second boss, they made you do paperwork. I loved that. I loved how you went into the office and you were doing paperwork, and the whole time.
That's right. I remember. I was trying to think of what you're talking about.
The whole time, the other workers are chattering in the background about
Yeah, they
Just
show you have to
nonsense.
like pick up a piece of paper and like do something with it and then put it in the other box. They just give you menial tasks. Like there's these weird little moments in the game where they'll give you a menial task to do and just something to crack you up and like break the
And the guy
monotony
at
for a
the
little
end,
bit.
when you do all the menial tasks, he's like, fine. He's like, you want to go into his office? Here you go. He's just like,
Just stuff added for comedic factor.
Yeah.
Some of the other
Krubis was
bosses,
his
I
name.
messaged you about
Krubis, he had a drill on his head.
That's what I was just looking at here. Yeah, Krubis is he'd go underground and come up out from underneath you and cause all kinds of
Right. Yeah,
havoc.
yeah.
There's another one that causes whirlwinds everywhere and let me see here. There was
Can I ask you a question?
Huh.
Were all the bosses hard for you? Because the two bosses that I came in contact with, so there was Garmantuous, which is the first boss. I mean, then there was Krubis and Ninetorg. They came off as very hard to me. Did they come off as hard to you?
Well, I think I actually messaged you when I got to the third boss. I was like, boy, that was a breath of fresh air. I think it was a Douglas or something like that. But the first two bosses, they did come off pretty darn hard. Like for getting thrown into it, I was actually kind of surprised. I only died a few times in the game, and it was mainly on Nipulon and his LSD trip. But I definitely I was kind of surprised how quick they throw the action at you, and it does get pretty frantic. It does as you get later into the levels. You're running. It turns into like a Doom style boomer shooter. You're frantically running. You're zipping from area to area. You're trying to stay alive while everything's shooting at you and coming at you. Especially on the last level.
So what you're saying is they turned it off just in time.
He always turns it off. No, he's been really good about playing his games lately, but he was just sick. He didn't get a chance to really get into this one. No, he's been putting the hours in on the games. I've been proud of him for actually playing the stuff and getting through it. But
Don't get too excited.
He's like, I'll show you next. I'll
show you. Just give me a 72-hour game. I'll show you 3 hours of good gameplay and my comments juiced up on wine and vodka.
The boss, I was thinking if you would have got to it, the Skrindle brothers were a total bitch. All four of them or three of them. Oh my God. So they did kind of annoy me, and you have to fight each of them individually and then you have to fight them all together. It's literally 4 boss fights over a boss fight. And it was definitely a little overwhelming having multiple guys coming at you as that was, but they were all manageable. I did it. If I died, I did better the second time, and I finished it on the third time if it took that many tries. So it's doable, but it does get frantic.
I think I told you via text. I think I told Josh this. I said, I don't know if I'm mad that you get to play video games as long as you do, or that you actually finish them.
I never used to, though. I never used to. Not until the 2 TV setup. I never finished games.
2 TVs.
I only started tracking. I started tracking my beating games in 2023 was the first year I started keeping track of how many games I beat, and I think I beat 40 games that first time. And but literally, I went the entire PS3 generation without beating games. I was just drunk. I would start games, I'd do the tutorial, I'd come back to play them again, and I'd forget how to play them, so they'd get dropped. And I must have done that with the entire PS3 library, because I think I only beat Dead Space. So it's only because of this 2 TV setup that I can sit here every night while we watch shows and just have one ear pod in my ear and play some games on the side while we're doing something else.
Of all the games to finish, Dead Space that's probably the best one. I mean, to be honest with you.
They've been asking for me to stream the new one, the remake. I actually just got a request on that today that they want me to play.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, it looks cool. I liked the first one. I love horror, so maybe I'll have to stream it soon or something.
I'm going to save this for the news, but I have a question for you about how opt are you to driving to LA one day?
Oh God, the only reason I couldn't do that is because I have neuropathy in my feet. I can't drive long distances.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I can handle maybe a couple hours at the most, but I just have too much numbness in my feet. But that doesn't mean, because my sister-in-law, I have Disney adults in the family. Yeah, okay. You guys can all groan. I fucking
the Disney culture here in California just blows me away.
It's the weird Disney adult stuff, and they go down to Disneyland quite often. They have a year pass that expires in the next 6 months or so, so they're gonna go again. So I could always hop a ride and come see you.
The only reason, not so far south. I mean, I guess that's considered LA is considered Southern California, but I happen to score 3 tickets to the Nintendo Switch party.
Oh God! Oh, you're gonna actually go to
just
see the Switch
we went
2?
Online. Yeah, to play with the Switch 2.
Well, that's kind of cool. You
And
got to take video of all that, whatever you can get.
it's
Well, what do they
Television
allow?
City.
Whatever they allow.
It depends on if I could get there or not. It's like a Friday at like 11 a.m. So it depends if I could get there or not. I know I'm only like 2 hours away from LA, but at
You
the
got to
same
do
time,
that.
it's like I want to see this Switch too. I mean,
Yeah, you got to
it
do that. That's too cool because I'm nowhere near doing. Plus, I don't even care about the Switch. I could give two shits about the Switch
because
two coming out. So.
I was on the list. I was like they had first of all they had put up the site and they were like, oh, if you want tickets, blah 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 blah, and I signed up and every slot, everything, it was booked. Everything was booked. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just get on the wait list. And I just got an email saying, hey, we got 3 tickets at 11 a.m. on Friday the 21st or something like that. I was like,
Nice.
I
Yeah,
was like,
definitely.
oh, all
I'd say
right,
do it. Do it. I
yeah,
mean,
all
I'm
right.
curious to see what. There's got to be something that's going to be mind blowing. Nintendo's got to have something up their sleeve because it's just all more Switch stuff to me. Which, hey, I got a funny
I
thing
want
though.
to see this slightly bigger console
We
doled out.
we're pretty much done with High on Life. We said what we needed to say about High on Life.
Yeah,
It's
I'm sorry.
hilarious. The
Sorry.
characters are great. No, because I want to. I'll tell you in a second. Characters are great. It's hilarious. The bosses are great. They're all unique. The only thing I hated was the ending. It literally just ends. You beat the last boss, and they're all like, "Hey, we did it, guys. Hey, we did it. Yeah, we did it." And you hear, "Let's do it," and then it goes to credits. That's it.
Ah,
There's no summary of what happened with the veteran, that's been helping you bounty hunt
somebody just
your
posted on
sister.
Twitter how there was this Mario game where it was just Mario sleeping, and it just said good night. And they posted this on Twitter saying this was the most horrible ending that they have ever experienced in video games.
Are they talking about Mario 2 where the whole thing was a dream?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, Mario 2. The whole thing was a dream.
I didn't know where it was from. Like I was like, I don't remember because I don't finish games, so I don't remember specifically. These very few games that I finished that I remember the ending to, and that's The Last of Us, and that's the list. So.
And that's really my only complaint with the game. It was fun, but it's just a really, really stupid ending. But anyway, what I was going to say before that was, though, for the first time since 2023, I actually have some Switch games arriving today in the mail. Nice. I haven't even turned on my Switch since 2023 when I played Super Mario RPG. Make sure it's charged.
That battery dies quick.
It's all sitting over there on this dock. Maybe it'll turn on. Maybe it won't. I'll fucking find out.
Yeah.
But Limited Run Games was running a sale. They opened this thing called the Vault for physical collectors, and the Vault is basically anything that Limited Run had released in the past. They still have stash of. They will put it into the Vault, so you can get all the stuff that Limited Run releases games for only a certain period of time, and then they disappear. So now this new.
What's the name of it?
Limited Run Games.
It's a site. Limited Run Games.
Yeah, they're a limited release company. They publish games, but it's the Vault now. You can get old stuff. So I went on there and they literally had I got 3 old Switch games that are worth probably 3 times as much as I paid because I only paid about $13 to $15 each out of the Vault. So I've got some Switch stuff coming today. I'm kind of excited.
Can I tell you something? Are you old enough to remember the Disney Vault?
Oh, of course. Yeah, they're like, we're going to let the movie out of the vault that you've already seen 2 million times. You excited? Are you excited? The vault's open.
And then the vault will be closed forever.
And you'll never see the movie again. And then people will sell their VHSs for $10,000 thinking they have something special.
Right, yeah. It was just always that. It was so great.
Stupid shit.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, it went on for decades. I'm sure Disney made billions.
Yeah, no, that's how they do it. You just make something sound special and people will buy it. Be like, this is a limited chance, one time only. Yeah, no,
it's why every infomercial starts the same way, like black and white, with you fumbling with something that doesn't work. Oh no!
If
are
only
you
life
doing
wasn't
that again?
So hard.
Yeah. Because it works. That's why everybody keeps doing it.
Well, you got gaming. Oh no, wait, we got a bonus game. Okay, play your sound now that you have a sound for bonus game.
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, we got to. He wanted to use this as the sound for bonus game. Here we go. That is epic. That is going to be the bonus game sound for when Josh talks about another game he's playing. So I realized my Game Pass for my Xbox Game Pass was expiring on the 13th. I only renew it when I have something I want to play. It's not something I keep all the time. So I thought I'd squeeze in a game real quick, and I was like, oh, that's right. I wanted to play Hellblade 2. Because Hellblade 1 we did last year for streams. Did you ever play Hellblade?
No.
It is a trip. It is a
Is it?
pretty
Yeah.
intense game. Real quick story on Hellblade. They warn you at the beginning that if you have any issues, I told you about this game before. If you have issues with psychosis, there's voices in the game that mimic psychosis. They say it's very close and very similar to auditory
Okay.
hallucinations, which I can confirm it is. It's a trip
Right.
because she travels through her whole little world with these auditory hallucinations, constantly talking and stuff, and big battles with demons and all this kind of stuff. Really cool.
Oh,
So
okay.
I started the second one to see how it is because it was a huge release last year. A lot of people kind of crap talked it for its length and said it was more boring. My current experience, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, but I am a little more bored than the first one. There's a lot of just walking and exploring and not as much fighting.
What's the name of this game? I'm sorry.
Hellblade 2: Swena's Sacrifice.
Oh, Hellblade 2. Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, I'm still having a great time, and it is gorgeous, and it is fun in its moments. But there's a little too much downtime in the game, a little too much exploring and puzzling so far. But that's just my opinion. I'm only about halfway through it. But that is my bonus game for the week that I'm playing on the side.
All right. Well, there you go. There's your Josh's bonus game for the week.
How about news?
And we are out.
So dumb. I love it. What do you got for news?
I was telling you, I think, did we mention this? How like I looked up the word bonus and it came up with 400,000 sounds, and I was just like,
That's about how it works.
All right, let's talk about some news, okay?
News.
And now it's time for gaming news.
So in this, oh yeah, by the way, thanks, Steve. So in the way of news, this first thing that I have, I don't know if you have this or not. However, I have I have a complaint. I know you're gonna have to sit down and use your mind's eye for a second. Paul has a complaint.
Okay, here we go.
Video Game Hall of Fame announces its finalists for 2025. Right? Video Game Hall of Fame. We all on board here?
Sure.
Okay.
Finalists.
For 2025 comes a bunch of games. Okay, Age of Empires, I get it. Angry Birds, cool.
Ew. Oh.
Call
Go
of
ahead.
Duty, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't until it gets to like 9 or 10 that it goes Defender and Frogger. Defender is possibly it blows my mind. It's like when the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame, it's how Pat Benatar was overlooked over Joan Jett for decades.
Oh my God.
Joan Jett doesn't even write her own music. Pat Benatar has a huge catalog of her own music.
We found something he cares about, you guys. I found something he cares about.
Defender and Frogger, those should have been in decades ago.
I agree. And is Asteroids in there? I mean, you got to have all those 80s like a coin-op arcade games in there. Those should have been in a long time ago. So how long has this Video Game Hall of Fame even been around, or what is this?
I don't know. I just saw it on Game Rant.
It must be something. It must be something new, and that's why they have these older games. Like, because I've never heard of a Video Game Hall of Fame. Of course, I don't know.
GoldenEye and Golden Tee Golf and Harvest Moon, Mattel Football. I don't know if they mean the Nintendo.
The little one with the lights.
The little one. I don't know what they mean. I'm starting to question.
I'm gonna look into this Video Game Hall of Fame more. I have a feeling this is a new thing that they're gonna try and start doing or something. See what they were talking
Hall
about.
Of Fame announces its finalists. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm gonna have to read more about this. Obviously, I didn't do my homework. I should have read on this before the article, before getting pissed that Defender was in there. Only 45 years later, just below Angry Birds. You know?
Yeah. Oh God, Angry Birds is just trash.
I'm not saying
trash.
Angry Birds shouldn't be there. I'm just saying that.
I know it made a lot of children happy and middle-aged soccer moms, whatever. I have a bunch of stuff just on new releases. Yeah, they're Angry Birds and their Candy Crush. I have a lot of new releases. So Split Fiction, which I'm excited about. I've talked to you, I think, about the game It Takes Two, the co-op game that everybody loved.
Yeah.
Split Fiction is coming out, and it got the first 90+ score in EA's history for 13 years. This is the first game that EA has published that actually got a 90 or higher in the reviews in 13 years.
Yeah.
Everybody bitches about what a piece of crap EA is as a company, but that kind of is a funny statistic to know that nothing's ever broken 90.
I wouldn't say EA's crap. I'm
talking about business practice and what they do to games and microtransactions and all that kind of stuff.
That's corporate America. I mean,
that's exactly. EA is a corporation. They're trash. Trash.
The only other news that I have is that Disco Elysium's spiritual successor, Hopetown, shows a gorgeous RPG, because I love Disco Elysium. It's probably the only RPG I've ever played in my life outside of Paper Mario for 5 minutes. And and Hopetown is the new spiritual successor to Disco Elysium. And from what I hear, it's gorgeous. I mean,
is this from the same creators, the same makers, or what?
Yeah.
Or is it just something? Oh, okay. Cool.
Whoever didn't walk away from their political disagreement that they had.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Were you following that news? Because
I never heard about it.
The whole team of Disco Elysium just like disbanded because they all had different political.
Well, that was a whole politically charged game in itself. The story in that game was very politically charged. Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff going on in there. Anyway,
the team itself split into like 3 different companies. So I mean, they say Disco Elysium. So I don't know who that is. Maybe it's the originals that were Disco Elysium and not the guys who were pussies and walked away. Let me tell you something. I say that lightly because I am a pussy myself, but I don't let things get in the way of development. Like if I were to let politics and every little thing get in the way of my therapeutic services to people, I wouldn't have anything to right.
Yeah, you can't get pissed off at every little thing.
You can't tell me that there are old people that come to your table therapeutically and just don't start rattling off about how.
Yeah, old people are all racist. I'm just going to tell you right now. They have ingrained racism in them because that's what they lived with. It wasn't that long ago. I mean, we're seeing what's happening to America as it is. It's ingrained.
My mom came to my house like not too long ago, not in California, but in New York, and I had some African American neighbors. She came up to me and she's like, Paul, black people, they're good people.
You're like, wait.
And I said,
news
who
to
are you
me?
trying to convince, Mom? Me or you? Like, who you? God. I know. I live next door to them. They're cool. They're cool. And she's just like, as long as they keep their jobs. I'm like, we're ending this conversation. We're just
wow. No, that's the kind of shit you got to deal with. Like seriously, I hear some horrible things out of and I deal with everybody I deal with is 70 to 100 years old. So
yeah.
You never know what you're going to expect.
So I mean,
And if we want to segue to political stuff, I'm letting you guys know right now that we're looking at possibly less physical publications of video games and also higher prices on video games and chips. I've already mentioned this with the tariffs and all that kind of stuff. Articles are coming out now that it's going to affect our physical game prices. If we also want to continue talking prices there, the entire industry is excited that Grand Theft Auto 6 might release as $100 for the standard release. Why would they be excited? Oh, look at that dog. You guys can't see YouTube.
I'm turning the conversation over to my dog.
There's a Pomeranian on YouTube right now that is cute as shit.
It is a teacup Pomeranian.
Oh my God, that's an adorable dog. This is why you guys need to tune in on YouTube. Anyway, the industry wants GTA 6 to release at $100 because that can set a new baseline for big releases. They can all start popping them out at $100 a pop. Nobody will question it if GTA 6 gets away with it, right?
Yeah.
More stupid shit like that.
I mean, do you have any other stories? Because I have a couple of more, but I don't want to.
I'm just going to say releases coming out. Tony Hawk 3 and 4 just got announced. RoboCop Rogue City sequel is coming out. They announced a Last of Us controller that looks like trash for the PlayStation.
I was just going to say, that was my other one. That was my
it looks like crap. And I collect controllers. I literally have about 20 controllers up there above me. And I don't even want it, but it has to go in my collection or I won't have a complete collection. So it pisses me off. It's the stupidest looking controller. It looks like they gave a child some decals and said, here's a controller, decorate it.
This is the thing, though, that I discovered that they're very limited in what they can do. Because I bought a PlayStation 4 that was the Uncharted 4 PlayStation, right? And I bought it because I bought the PlayStation because I didn't have a PlayStation 4 and I was waiting for it to go on sale, and this came on sale at a regular price. And the only difference in the PlayStation 4, and I'll tell you another story about modded consoles, but this PlayStation 4, the only thing that made it the Uncharted 4 was that the controllers were teal. And
Yeah.
that was it.
That's how special editions work. That's literally how collectors special editions work. There's only something a little bit different about it, but it makes your controller, from that point on, your controller will be more valuable than any other controller. That's the whole point of it. You have a special edition of something. It doesn't do anything special for you. No, that's the whole. You don't understand a collector's perspective on it. That's the thing. I mean, I'll show up there for the people. Where is it? I can't see. Yeah, there all the controllers up there on the shelf that I'm showing on YouTube. Yeah, they're all still in their boxes and stuff. They're all sealed, still in their boxes for no purpose other than to have them as part of a collection. So yeah, it's pointless.
When PlayStation 3 came out, I was so disappointed in the PlayStation 3. I'm not going to go into it, but I was so disappointed in PlayStation 3 that I actually went to Xbox for a time in my life. Don't judge.
So did I. I liked the 360 more during that time. Yeah.
So I bought the 360, but I bought it from a GameStop. And I've told this story to John once before, was that I opened it up and it was tan and it had some kind of weird logo on it. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever, I got an Xbox 360. It wasn't until I turned it on that it made a sound that I was like, well, that's interesting. Is that the way all of them sound? Because I had never had a Microsoft product before as far as consoles. And it went bong, right? So one day I'm staring at the Xbox and I'm staring at the logo on the side. And this was a specific Xbox that Taco Bell had given away to people who had won. And
wait, you had the Taco Bell Xbox?
I had the Taco Bell Xbox. It's long gone now, which I wish I would have seen. That's funny. But it was just like the whole thing was modded.
Yeah, that's incredibly rare, dude. That's incredibly rare, the Taco Bell, because there were only like 250 or like 2,000 of them given away. Like it was a limited amount of them. And yeah, you had a variation of a rare console.
I bought one. I just was like, hey, I just walked into a GameStop and was like, hey, I want an Xbox 360.
That's so funny. They didn't realize what they had either. It must have.
They didn't even open up the box. Neither did I till I got home.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's actually a very rare. There's like the Mountain Dew Xbox is another rare one. The original like OG like big black Xbox. There's a Mountain Dew green version of it that was a giveaway. That's really rare. Yeah, there's tons of console. I've never bought a special edition console. The ones that would be like a special release for Last of Us or Uncharted, like you said. The only one I kind of wanted was a Spider-Man one that was bright red with the spider logo on it for the PS4. That one's got cool looking. But yeah, I never found a reason to buy a special edition console when I already have a console. What's the point?
So I had one by accident that Taco Bell must have given to somebody, and somebody's parent must have been like, well, they're in college, I might as well sell all their shit. And just
that's actually how I got started into gaming. Did I ever tell you how I got started into this whole gaming streaming thing?
No.
A divorcee donated $4,000 worth of video game stuff to me one summer back in 2021. And really? Because I run the local game group for my town. Nobody participates in it, but she contacted me because I ran it. And she's like, my sons are in college. I just got divorced. I'm moving across country. Would you like all these video games and magic cards? And I literally got sealed PS2 games and stuff. I got about 15-20 consoles. I've got thousands and thousands of dollars and stuff, and that's when I started selling and doing buy sell trade. And then that moved into writing reviews about games on Facebook groups. That moved into joining Twitter. That moved into streaming. That moved into me being in your face right now on camera. All because a divorcee donated a bunch of video games to me back in 2020.
Wow, that's amazing. Crazy I never even. It's crazy because the stuff that you can find online is pretty amazing sometimes. But anyway, that what started this. The Last of Us. I saw the Last of Us controller with the Firefly logo on the middle thing and everything like that. And I was like, you see this so many times. It's just a collector's wet dream. Is all it is. All these.
But they could have at least made it cool looking. It's stupid. I wouldn't want to play with it if you really love the controller. You want to love the controller not just to have it, but like because it's cool looking. But there's only two controllers I haven't bought that are part of the PS5 collection, and it's the Fortnite controller which looks stupid as hell. It just looks like they gave a child crayons and said, make it look stupid as hell. And they did a good job of doing that.
Yeah.
And then I don't have the LeBron controller I got, but it's so stupid looking too. It's just, I have it. I paid $40 for it because even PlayStation couldn't sell it, and their PlayStation Direct was like, hey, we'll give you 50% off if you take it off our hands. So I said, okay.
Right. Yeah.
But they're just, don't make ugly controllers. What's the fucking point? Anyway.
If I were to start collecting, believe it or not, as much as I would, like I've said in the past, is like something else to dust in my house. But if I was actually starting to collect something, it would start with something like from my childhood, like in television or Vectrex. You can look that one up.
I played one at my neighbor's house. Yeah, I love Vectrex. Yeah, I did. I played one at my neighbor's house.
That was a great machine. I remember begging my mom for one Christmas, and she was like, $55. So
that is quite. If you guys don't know what a Vectrex is, look it up. Look up game video of it. It had overlays and stuff on it. Totally just vector graphics, like line graphics.
That's the one thing that I would start with if I actually had it.
Get an old Vectrex. Boy, that thing hummed too. That thing could cook your eggs on top of it, I bet. Oh my gosh, the radiation putting out of that screen.
It was a video game machine. It was a console that came with the monitor. So
it was the monitor. The monitor was the console. Like
yeah, the monitor was the console, and it was pretty slick. But if you look them up nowadays, and you look them up, you're looking at like $700-800 to find.
Oh yeah, I have a couple. Friends
unless you find one at a garage sale, somewhere.
$20 deal.
Yeah, some guy who doesn't know what it is. He's like, it's an old TV. Yeah, all right, see you later.
Well, I like how this turned into a bunch of extra random conversations. It was fun because we didn't have a ton to say about the game, but it turned into fun conversation and stuff. What are we playing next time? We got it in 2 weeks. 2 weeks here.
Oh yeah, that's right. What do we got next week? Something Star Wars Jedi. I didn't.
Oh wow, you were so close. You were so close.
I didn't memorize. I didn't memorize the title.
We noticed that Star Wars Jedi Survivor is new to PS Plus, and we're trying to cover the new stuff that's getting released for those that didn't play it on release day. So we're trying. I started it earlier for stream. I did 2 hours on stream a little earlier. I'm gonna let you know right now. It's a Souls game. It's completely set up like a Souls game.
Now you tell me.
The bonfire. You can't just hack and slash. You're gonna get your butt kicked. So I'd put it on an easier setting for you. Just down it down one to Padawan level, and you'll be fine. But yeah, I played it a couple hours of it a long time ago. But
I'm so disappointed.
Just
no, you didn't say that when we were choosing them.
It's Souls formula, okay? That means you rest at a bonfire. You only get a certain amount of health heals. You can't just button mash to win. So just take your time and go about it. You'll be fine.
Fine.
Unlike Souls games, it has an easier setting. And I'll say it once again: all Souls games should have an easier setting as well. I don't care. Anyway,
they don't.
They hate hearing that. Those people. You people hate hearing that. All right, I'm out. We done.
All right, buddy. Where can they find you in the?
It's Gosh Josh Games on everything. Gosh Josh Games with a Z on Twitch and TikTok, where my clips and my streams are.
Oh, that guy still hasn't sold you his name.
I can't get the S. I'm always going to be Gosh Josh Games with a Z on TikTok and Twitch, and that sucks because that's where my actual content is, but it's different.
Yeah. All right, well, you can find us at Dad's Game Review. I don't even know what our tag is on Blue Sky.
It's Dad's Game Review on everything. Yeah, I handle Blue Sky. I talk to myself. I pretend I'm Paul, and I talk to myself on Blue Sky. It's fun. Yeah, I talk for him, and I interact with him, and I am him, so it's good.
Oh my God! It's a good thing you don't get drunk anymore, because there are times where I used to tweet on Twitter when it was Twitter as Dad's Game Review. It'd be like, this is the problem with Mexicans, they used to
oh my God,
tweet these horrible things, and then John would be like, you need to stop doing that.
Oh my God, that was like me on Ambien. All right.
Yeah, exactly. All right, buddy.
All right, dude.
I'll talk to you next time.
In 2 weeks. All right.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.